I want you to be honest here. What rating do you think Palia should have? You can comment below. And in case you don't know the ratings, here are a few of them from the US rating group, the ESRB. They're intended to be used by customers, or more likely their parents, to help tell them what is in a game and if it would be appropriate for little Billy and Mandy here. If you couldn't tell, today I'll be discussing the ESRB's rating system and also applying it to Palia and how it got its rating. And if you're just a parent worrying about what rating that I would give the game personally, I would give it a teen rating, so T. Also, if you're wondering why I haven't talked about Peggy, which is the European version of this, it's just because the game hasn't actually been rated by them yet. Also, if you didn't know, this video only came to be due to discussions that I've had with community members on my streams, both over on Twitch and here on YouTube. Links to those in the description, and thank you to everyone who came by and talked about, well, what they thought were issues with the game. On to the core topic then. How does the ESRB rate a game? They have two completely different rating systems, one for physical releases and one for digital only. From a physical game standpoint, the developers fill out a survey detailing what relevant content is in the game and what else is there, as well as reward systems, player control, and whether or not there are in-game or in-app purchases. Alongside this, the developers also need to submit a video that actually shows what typical gameplay, content, and cutscenes are there, as well as the most extreme content that the game includes, which does include unplayable content still in the files, which is an added requirement after the infamous hot coffee incident from GTA San Andreas. From here, at least 3 raters, probably more, will recommend a rating for the game based on this information, as well as create their own content descriptors independently of each other. And after this, another group or individual looks over each of these recommendations, collates them into one, and releases the ratings to the game's publisher, who can either accept them or change their product and resubmit the game for rating. Overall, this system seems like a pretty good thing. You have multiple people looking over the systems and making informed decisions about where a game should land on a scale of ratings. This is not the case for digital-only games like Palia. Instead of the full questionnaire, video, reviewers, and checks and balances things, for digital releases, the ESRB just has the publisher fill out a short questionnaire. That's it. The system then very quickly assigns the game a rating based only upon what the publishers claim are in the game. None of the human eyes, no videos, no checks, no balances, and for me, there's really no point to having this. It's due to this that I don't think the ESRB rating is really a useful metric at all for parents or consumers to understand what's in a digital-only game, and it's also sort of a complete joke. That leaves 2 questions. If it's a joke, why get a game rated at all? And also, what are the penalties for intentionally getting a game misrated by lying on these questionnaires? The why is pretty simple. Most physical stores and console stores require a rating to publish a game on them, although Steam doesn't, so there's that. Most of these stores also don't allow adult-only games, which is the highest rating that ESRB has, so if you have an AO game, it cannot be sold on these marketplaces. This raises the question of why you would even want to try to get an AO rating if you're making a game like that, and multiple games have in the past just for marketing reasons, like this can't be sold in stores. So that covers the whys, actually. That's the entire reasons. But what happens in the case of a game intentionally being misrated by submitting false information? It may surprise you to know that the penalties are also quite a bit different between physical and digital releases. For a physical release, an intentional misrating can result in sanctions and fines against a publisher of up to $1 million, which can be a pretty hefty fine for most studios, and also works as a strong deterrent to not do this. But what about digital-only games? For these releases, the penalty is that they can correct their ratings. That's it. Moral of the story, lying about your digital game rating is easy to do and has no actual downside. So how do I tie this information of the ESRB ratings back to Palia? Well, since the game is coming to Switch, it has been submitted for rating, and somewhat recently the ESRB has given it a rating. E10+, fine for everyone except fairly young children. The rating also includes references to alcohol, fantasy violence, mild language, mild suggestive themes, and use of tobacco, as well as interaction with other users and in-game purchases. In the mild suggestive themes section, they include only references to romance dialogue and mild innuendos within them. And from a language standpoint, the game includes the word damn, which I found funny reading over this, so I included it. Now, is all of this wrong? Not exactly, but it's also not 100% accurate to what we have in the game. In regular dialogue, I have found multiple sexual references and innuendos, as well as Tamala's entire character. Again, these were not related to the romance system at all. On top of this, there are some fairly dark themes found within the game if you play through it, and many of these I would claim are not suitable for young children. Now, we can have a different discussion of whether or not these themes should actually be in the game or not, but I believe that it should play a role in determining what ages these games are actually suitable for. And those are the reasons that I would personally rate this game as a T for teen rating, the actual themes and suggestive themes present in them. So why has the ESRB only rated the game E10+? Partially because it's a digital only game, so a human never looked it over. There was no video footage, anything like that, anywhere in any of this. And it's also partially because the ESRB does not include guidelines about rating games for the actual themes of a game, which can be a disturbing thought. And yeah, that's why Palia is rated E10+ in the US at least. I don't know how it's going to be in PEGI. Here's everyone who makes these videos possible. And what do you think? Did the ESRB get it right? How did their E10 compare to your rating? And what do you think? Is everything okay with their rating process? That's all. Thanks for watching.